Did you know that the #1 top phobia in America is public speaking? So I've seen the most amazing creators, entrepreneurs, and experts shy away from delivering their message to an audience. Just the thought of addressing an audience makes them feel their palms sweat,
His palms are sweaty,
and their heart race, and their stomach in knots.
knees weak, arms are heavy.
And it doesn't even have to be in a classic public speaking setting or on a stage. Sometimes it's going live on Instagram or on Facebook or being on TV or a media segment. Some of the most successful people I know are absolutely paralyzed by this thought. What will they think? Right. And the crazy thing is, they often don't even know who they are. Let me ask you a question. Do you ever think these thoughts before speaking up or putting yourself out there? What if people think that I'm awful? What if people think that I'm an idiot? What if people don't like my outfit? Or what if people don't like my hair or my makeup? I think those things sometimes. The good news is that's totally normal. Even the biggest celebrities, biggest rock stars in the world that I've interviewed have imposter syndrome and get nervous. And the really cool news is I can help. I've worked with hundreds of clients and have helped them get appearances on nationwide TV shows, podcasts, YouTube channels, and pretty much every publication that there is. And one thing I've seen over and over again is these amazing individuals who are gifted, talented, and renowned experts in their field are scared to death of delivering their message. Does that sound like you? Maybe you're a little scared, or maybe you just get a little bit nervous every time you go to speak. Would you like to be able to learn how to be a little bit more confident? You're in luck, because I'm here to completely reframe the way you think about public speaking. First things first, if you're an expert in your field and you have a valuable enough message to share with an audience, it is your responsibility to get it in front of them. Because if you're not making yourself visible, you are doing a huge disservice to the people who need your help. And if they can't find you, they're gonna go pay someone else or listen to someone else who's not as good as you and doesn't care as much. Let me tell you an amazing story about an incredible doctor that we work with. Her name is Dr. Nicole, and she is an amazing doctor that helps young people, children and adolescents with ADHD and mood disorders, and she was petrified of putting herself out there. And we talked her through it. We said, it's your responsibility to be seen. There's so many families that need you. Finally, she was able to get her first TV segment. And then that first TV segment wasn't that scary. So she did another one and another one. And pretty soon she did one segment where after that was over and after it aired, a mom of a suicidal teenager called her office. And this mother had been to absolutely every doctor in the area. And her child has been on every medication and on every drug and was still very symptomatic and suicidal. She took her daughter into Dr. Nicole's office after seeing her on TV, and Dr. Nicole found things that those other doctors couldn't find. And she saved that girl's life. That little girl is no longer suicidal. But if Dr. Nicole didn't step up and make herself visible, who knows what would have happened? Self-promotion isn't gross. It's not salesy, it's not yucky. It's your responsibility. If your dream clients can't find you, they're not going to be able to be helped by you. So if you're staying small and quiet and no one knows about your existence, that client is gonna go find someone else. There's someone else that's gonna promote their work, and they're gonna promote themselves. They're gonna go get help from someone that you should be able to help too. So let's go over a few things that you can do to overcome your fear of public speaking so that you can get in front of the audience who needs you and what you can bring to the table. First thing you need to focus on is preparation before you speak. And I'm not talking about preparing the content that you're going to talk about in your presentation. I'm talking about preparing your mind. And preparing your mind as to what's your real mission when you're in front of your audience. What are you really doing there? What's your why? And if you focus too much on your content, that's a reflection of your ego. If you're too worried about what people will think about what you're saying and the content, and if it's good enough, believe me, if you've been chosen to speak on a stage about something and people have shown up to listen to you, you know your stuff. So trust that you know the content and just show up for the people. The key is to forget about the what and focus on the why and the who. In order to get out of your head and into the flow, I want you to focus on the audience, the individual. Who is in the room? What do those people do for a living? Why are they there? What do they need? And most importantly, how can you help them overcome and deal with their challenges? And as you think about these questions, I want you to come up with very, very, very specific answers, okay? Try thinking this thought before you go on the stage. I am not here to accomplish, I am here to help. I love that quote so much. It takes me away from my ego, away from me, and into helping someone else. Or I also like to use the acronym HOPE, H-O-P-E. Help one person every day. Instead of focusing on being awesome on stage, I want you to connect with the people who will be there and how you can help them. Think about how you would show up if a good friend or a client took you to lunch and they asked you for your help. How would you talk to them? Would you be nervous? Probably not. You would be excited to help them and the words would just flow. You wouldn't forget the words. You would know exactly what to say. So the second thing I want you to do right before you speak is to get into peak state. What does that mean? Well, when I performed on Broadway, I had a very specific pre-show ritual that I did before every single show, no matter what. This ritual involved movements and mindset hacks that helped my body get physically prepared to take the stage. Even on days when my body was hurting or I didn't feel up to performing, there were several days like that, I would always feel better after my pre-show ritual, because if you move a muscle, you can move a thought. Here are some of my personal pre-show ritual peak stage strategies. Number one is the power pose. A power pose is actually scientifically proved to actually change the way that your mind thinks about what you're going to do. And what a power pose is when you stand with your hips forward, your shoulders back, your hands on your hips, and your chest out, and a big smile on your face, and you envision that there is a big superhero cape flying behind you. And you just stand like that for a few seconds. The energy that your body will create by standing in this confident, powerful pose will actually energize your mind. The next thing I do is visualize the end of the talk. Not the whole talk, just the end. So I close my eyes and I visualize, I'm done with my talk. What are the people saying to me after I'm done? I come off the stage. Are they congratulating me? Are they saying that I moved them to tears? Are they saying that I moved them to take action? Are they thanking me for what I did? Are they saying, congratulations, you did it, it was so great? And I visualize the end being the most successful, most powerful moment of my entire life. And that actually changes the energy in my body before I go on stage, knowing that the audience is going to feel that way when I'm done. The next thing is, very important, move your body. Dance, exercise, walk. I don't care. Do something that gets your energy moving through your system. Do some jumping jacks, do some push-ups. Nothing changes your state better than movement. So before you take the stage, do a little shake, put on your headphones, put on a song that pumps you up, do a walk around the block, and get your blood pumping. Get those endorphins up, get the dopamine, the serotonin, and then take the stage. The fourth thing I want you to do is to make eye contact with your audience. Now, if you think you're talking to hundreds of people at the same time, it will be really, really easy to let imposter syndrome take over and let the fear of what everyone will think of you creep in. As I mentioned in the first step, you want to focus on helping people. And the best way to do that is to lock eyes with the humans that you are helping. Every time you're sharing an individual thought, make sure you keep sustained eye contact with one person. I try to choose somebody in the audience that is super engaged with my talk and that's having a good time and that's feeling me, because then they'll always play along and they'll give the energy back. But by focusing at one person at one time, you are making each person in the room feel like you're talking to just them, right? Give everybody a moment of your time. And not only that, it's easier to connect with one individual at a time than it is to connect with dozens or hundreds or even thousands of people at the same time. So this will help you get out of your head and directly into your heart. The fifth thing I want you to do is to lead or open your talk with a puzzle, a question, or a story. People love stories. That's how they connect with your human side, and that's how you can make any message more relatable to your audience. It's also way more captivating to tell a story and take people on a journey rather than just tell them what they need to do or start jumping into content or jumping into framework. Another way to engage your audience right away is to open with a question to get them thinking. I like to ask questions that have the audience actually answer so you can talk and it becomes interactive. And I call on people and I ask them to talk to me, and it really actually helps calm my nerves. And this immediately connects you with your audience. The sixth thing I want you to do is to record and rewatch your talk. I know, you probably don't like hearing yourself talk or watching yourself on camera. It's tough, I get it, I don't like it either. But the more you do it, the easier it will become, and you will actually become your greatest coach. So make sure you record yourself giving the talk from beginning to end when you're rehearsing. If you stumble over your words or you forget something or you mess up, that's okay. Just keep recording and then listen to it or watch it back and make notes on how you can do it better next time. Try to pretend it's not you are watching. Okay, this is the key. Think about like you're watching somebody else and you're giving somebody else honest feedback on where they can improve. Take yourself out of it. And I like to write myself notes and then I read them before I go on stage, the notes from like the greatest coach ever, which is usually yourself. Make sure that you pause and breathe. Okay, think about music. All the beauty in music is contained in the silences between the notes. It's those pauses that create the tension. In speaking, the drama and power of the speech are all contained in the silences that you create from point to point. Pause for 3 to 5 seconds after asking a question or making your main points or finishing a story. Give people a moment to be there with you. The pause will give the audience time to ponder your message and to actually connect with you, and it gives you a lot more strength from stage. It'll also help you slow down so that you're not speaking too quickly or rambling off topic. I tend to do that. So if pausing doesn't resonate with you and you're a fast talker like me, put choreographed breaths in your talk. Place breaths specifically in places where you need to pause. By breathing, well, when you're breathing, you can't say anything. So take a breath. The 7th thing I want you to do is to just forget all of this. Yes, forget all of this and just trust that you've got it. When giving a speech, you don't want to be overly rehearsed. It's so important to just be able to read the room and give the audience what they need in that moment. So while I want you to do all the 6 steps I just mentioned, I also just want you to let them go and be in the moment. Don't memorize what you're going to say. I never memorize my talks. I have an outline prepared and I know all of the steps. I just taught you. And then I just say this little prayer. God, speak to me and through me. And then I trust that it's all there. And if I just speak, my heart will come through. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow and put some comments below on what your favorite step was. See you next time.